Hi everyone, it's Alvi here with your card choices for this week. So, starting from left to right, we have Group 1, Group 2, and Group 3. Just take a deep breath and go with whichever one you're guided to first, and then check the time steps, and I'll see you over in the readings. Hey guys, Alvi here, doing the weekly pick a card readings. This is Group 1's reading. I'm just shuffling the cards now. I've decided I'm going to do it differently and just shuffle the cards as they come into the reading. So yeah, I don't know. That's just how I'm doing it. So there you go. So if you haven't seen me before, or you've just come across this video, and my name's Alvi. I'm a psychic, medium, intuitive, healer, all of those things really. And I just do these readings as a way for you guys who watch this to kind of tap into the energy. This is a general reading, and it's also a timeless reading. So not everything will resonate with you, although if you find that it feels like I'm speaking directly to you, then the message is definitely for you. And then what else was I going to say? I can't remember. It must be time. My guides have kind of pushed my attention towards the card that I just pulled out for you guys. So easy does it is your first message. So stop trying so hard. Stop trying so hard to control everything, and all the doors will open for you. Yeah, I get this one a lot coming up. Not just for, the collective, but for me as well. We're all in this kind of, I don't know. It's interesting because the song that it's playing before I even started recording, it's talking about, hang on, let me see what the song is called. I channel through music too, by the way, in case you don't know. I've got like earbuds in. Yeah, there's songs. It's Five Finger Death Punch, Wash It All Away. And it's like, I've given up on society, up on my family, up on your social disease. Basically just, yeah, it's this kind of energy of surrender that's coming through here. It's like you might need to surrender a little bit more, develop some trust in the universe, and you're trusting your soul path instead of trying to always force things a particular way. I don't know what I've done to this deck. Why is there, oh, it's just one on the bottom. Okay, so we'll have another message from this deck, and then I might go into a few other different songs, different decks of cards, that is. Sorry, I'm looking at the phone now because I can see all the different songs coming up. So yeah, interesting. So Wash It All Away, and that's the song that's coming up right now. But it's also like, if you have a look at the card, they're in the sea, so it's kind of washing it all away. So maybe it's sort of like this feeling of perhaps there's things going on in your energy field. Perhaps there's like, some kind of grounding or um, cleansing practice with salt baths or the sea, but also remembering to be playful and not to just try and control things and have everything in this particular way. It's okay to have like expectations. It's okay to want things to be a particular way, but you have to be kind of able to let go of that sometimes, because otherwise you just end up disappointed. Yeah, because there's dolphins in this card, so I'm sort of getting that. They're playful. They go with the flow. They don't force the waves to go the way they want to go. They go the way the waves are going. So it's a little bit of letting go kind of energy. Not trying to control things too much and surrendering. Definitely getting sort of themes of like salt baths or going to the sea if it's not too cold where you are, or if you like the cold sea, cold water, that's fine too. You can do that. Some people do, some people don't. I took my shoes off and put my feet in the water near where I live the other day, and it felt like a glass of, like there's been ice in a glass or a bowl, and the water had melted. It was that cold, and I was like, oh no, yeah. I stood in there for a while, but that was too much for me. I couldn't go in the whole way. So can we get another message for group 1? Okay, a holiday. This is another interesting message for you guys, group one. So, holiday. Got another song about giving up. So, yeah, giving up sort of sounds to a lot of people like, it's just kind of quitting, I suppose. But really, when you think about it, if you think about it like surrendering and letting things go the way the universe has planned or your soul has planned, just going with the flow and being easier about it, it's so much less stressful. It's so much less work. And you find yourself actually coming back to peace and joy a lot more easily if you just kind of go with that flow and just let things happen the way that they're meant to happen. Um, so holiday, the answers you're looking for can be found during a vacation retreat or holiday getaway. This might be for some of you in the past. You may have been on a retreat and you might have this kind of memory or moment where you're like, oh, is that why that happened? But for others of you, I feel like you might be going away somewhere, or it might be a good idea to get away. So, like, sometimes when you're just in the same situation over and over again, things get really kind of and yeah, it is hard to let go of that control and to just kind of go with the flow because you get too sort of caught up in all of that stuff that's going on around. So maybe it's time to take a holiday, and having that holiday, having that space away from your usual situation, um, will be it will make it easier for you to kind of let go with the flow, and maybe have some more sort of guidance and like messages from your higher self or your soul or your inner self or however you want to describe it coming through as well, because when you're in stress, often it's really difficult to sort of pick up on those messages or pick up on what's coming through to you or what the best course of action is, because you're too stressed out to really notice what your body's doing or what the whispers of your soul are sort of coming through with. um got a really sort of it's a really nice calm energy coming through. So I feel like if you are feeling really stressed at the moment, or there's some particular situation that you're worrying about, um, perhaps overthinking as well. This overthinking thing keeps coming up in all of the messages and stuff that I'm kind of channeling at the moment. So if you're feeling that way, I feel like you're going to come into a really calm sort of energy fairly soon. And when I say a holiday, like it could be, a holiday, what is it? A change is as good as a holiday. So you don't have to go on like a massive holiday or anything. You could just, go for a drive, go somewhere you haven't been before, or you haven't been for a long time. Maybe the beach would be a good place. So both of these cards have sort of like water themes. So I'll show you. They're both in the water. So I feel like this is something emotional as well, with water coming up as a big theme. Um, yeah, okay. I am just deciding which deck I would like to use next, which messages we're going to get. Too much stuff on my desk. um, it's a tiny desk anyway, and there's so many things on here. Let's have a look here and see. Okay, I want to get. I don't know. I'm being very drawn to this one, the Soul's Journey card. So maybe we'll have a look at these. Let's see if there's a message in here for you guys as well. So let's have a look. What message do you have for group one? Message for group one, please. As I'm sitting here shuffling, I'm thinking about this quote that I saw just the other day. Something about if this, what is it? If you can't do anything about it, don't worry about it. If you can do something about it, then do it and stop worrying, or something like that. But it seems sort of appropriate. I probably got it wrong, because I always do, but I'll see if I can find it and pop it up like somewhere on the reading once I've finished recording. Okay, so let's have a look and see what else we've got coming through for group one, please. Can I just get one message from this deck for group ones? Right, that's a few too many. That many. Can we get a message for group one, or am I just going to sit here? Oh, what's that? It looks like a chip crumb in my hair. I was eating chips just before I started recording. Don't know how it got in my hair though, mind you. Get out. Oh no. I see all these other readers on YouTube and they're all like well made up and put together, making these nice backgrounds, and here I am with chip crumbs in my hair. I'm just keeping it real. You don't have to be perfect to receive messages from spirit or from yourself. You just have to be you and comfortable with it. But at this point, I'm wondering if we're going, oh, here we go. Look, we'll get that one. That looks like a good message for you guys. Here we go. Make work fun. All right. So this could be a situation around work. It could be about how, you just get stuck in the grind. You get stuck in that whole every day got to do the same thing kind of thing, that horrible dreading feeling you have of going to work. Or it might be something a bit more deep. It might be that you're realizing that where you work isn't for you, or it's just causing you too much stress and you might need to kind of change track or look for a different position or something like that. Let's have a look and see what this book says. Make work fun. Where are you? Be great if I could remember the alphabet. I know it, but it's just sort of like the translation between where the M is in this book and where it is in my brain. Something completely different. Okay, we've got move forward, manage your time. That's not what we're looking for. Make work fun. We had this one come up a few weeks ago too, I think, from what I can remember anyway. So we are all actors in a play called life. Our role has been assigned. Our role has been assigned by the divine director without consulting us. If we perform our role well, the play of life becomes enjoyable, skillful, enjoyable for us. Sorry, I'm skipping like a whole sentence here. Skillful actors are those who find ways to improve the part that they have to play by giving outstanding performances. This sounds like a lot of work to me. The actors who are not so passionate about their roles will have to suffer throughout the play or take a different part. Having an ideal career is fulfilling, rewarding, and enjoyable. But if the workload makes you feel unmotivated or lethargic, perhaps it's time to shift in directions. Breaking away from the support of the cocoon and flying towards joy and freedom requires incredible power. It needs strength and capability to be resilient in the face of hurdles. It requires you to create a new version of yourself that can exist beyond limiting beliefs. Your strength develops through your vision and level of dedication. Your soul's journey becomes exciting when your work is done with love, determination, and faith in yourself. Through using your imagination, you can become more creative and capable of producing extraordinary results. Stay true to yourself and never give up on your dreams. Expand your horizons beyond your daily work and keep a positive attitude. And enjoy the ride of life. There's a mantra here too, because these cards have a mantra. So I have been given enough talent to make my work reflect who I am and what I'm worth. I feel like for some of you, this might be, as I was saying, it's sort of like you're picking up, or you're getting this stress, you're wanting to control things, you're getting this kind of message because sorry, somebody's calling my phone. I'm just going to, no, I'll just leave it. So yeah, because because whatever what your job is or what you're working doing now is stressful, it's creating stress, and stress always, as I said, stops these messages from coming in, so that you're not really, you're not walking the path that your soul wants you to walk. And or as they put it in that book, it's like you're not playing the role that you came here to play. So you might feel unfulfilled, or you might feel like, what's the point kind of thing. It might be that you're in the right field, but you might need to swap, jobs, so that you're working for people who appreciate what you do. Or um, it might be that you need to kind of rethink what you're doing entirely, so that it's something different that's more fulfilling to you, that's sort of more in alignment with your soul path. Um, mm, my my intuition's just saying, wait for the tarot, wait for the tarot. The tarot is going to be good. So I think we might go there straight away. Um, Without any further ado, I kind of feel like we're going to get more in-depth messages here about work and career and stuff like that. And like work, they could be talking about the work, you know, they could be talking about the work that you kind of, like soul work type thing as well. Perhaps you are one of the people who believe they have a mission. Um, sorry, my hair's a bit of a mess. I just got out of the shower not long ago, so it's drying still. So yeah, one of the people who have a mission, as far as, part of the ascension path, part of awakening humanity, bringing more love and light and all of that sort of stuff into the world. That could be the work that they're talking about as well. It might be time to change tack, because perhaps you've been doing one thing for a really long time and it's no longer fulfilling. Or sometimes, as it happens with these things, we get new kind of missions, I guess. We finish a mission and we get a new mission. I saw, I think it was Carrie Cave, her on Facebook talking about this. It was a while ago, and a lot of people I know who are, deeply into the light worker, the energy worker, the working for the universe type thing. Everybody was saying, I feel really lost. I don't really know what I'm meant to be doing anymore. What I used to be doing as my soul mission just doesn't feel right. And she was saying, yeah, it's because we've kind of changed spots. People are changing, the mission or the purpose of what they're doing now. It's time to change, because you've done what you needed to do. That cycle has finished, and now it's time to up level into something else. So this could be, career wise, and it could be like a crossover as well. It might be that the work that you do as for your career is part of your soul mission or your soul path too. Some people, have that, and other people have, they have to work in the supermarket and then go off and do tarot readings or healing work in other places to support themselves. So yeah, just depends on where you are, I guess. So let's have a look and see what the tarot has to say. This is definitely about work. I feel very much that it's sort of like what came through to me before as I was pulling this make work fun card out. As well, there was this other message for, it's sort of like you need to take a break before you can actually truly realize what path you need to take, or what detour you need to take, or which way to go now, because things are changing or have changed for you. And I feel like trying to control things in the way perhaps that you did before, or trying to force things to go in a particular way, isn't really going to work, or hasn't worked. And now you're questioning, like, what am I doing? Which direction should I be going in with this? Because I don't feel like it's working. Definitely taking a break and time to just kind of, what's the word? Recalibrate, integrate whatever changes and shifts and stuff are going through. You're going through. Integrate whatever changes and energies and shifts that are coming through for you at this time. That there's a lot of big shift energy, different people experiencing different things. So yeah, definitely take a break, or take as much time, that as you need to kind of spend by yourself, so that you can tap back into the intuition or the guidance that's coming through for you. Can we get messages for group 1 about their work and career, please? Show me. Show us. I wish I was allowed to have the music on. It would make a lot more sense as to why I'm nodding my head the way I am. All right, can we get messages? All right, I need to knock. Let's have a look and see what messages do we have for group 1. I don't want 10,000 cards, just a few, please. It really it's very difficult to get the cards out. The messages are taking a little while today. Sometimes they're like straight out, sometimes they're not. I guess it's just that's the energy for you guys too. It's sort of like what used to work, or sometimes kind of came very easily, maybe doesn't come as easily anymore because of the situation or position that you're in. I also was getting, as I was just shuffling, then it's sort of like that you've lost the spark or the passion for what it is that you used to do. So yeah, interesting. Just it feels a lot like I'm kind of it's just like it's like heavy energy, I guess, walking through sludge or something along those lines. I maybe just kind of going through the motions, not really enjoying it. All right, so here we go. Okay, so we have the 7 of Pentacles here. This it's giving me this idea of like you were growing something, or you've been kind of, it's like an investment, right? It's something that you've been investing in for a while, and I feel like you may have started to see some fruit, some leaves grow. Yes, I'm just using that as an analogy. You can see he's got a little seedling tree there, and the pentacles are on the roots, so he's planted the seeds. So this might be something that you've been quite invested in for a while, this career or this job or something like that. So it's hard for you to leave because it feels like a something comfortable, or it feels sort of like, I don't know, I feel like the growth hasn't been what you expected it to be. It hasn't brought you what the fulfillment that the investment sort of like, hang on, let me start that again. You've invested a lot of energy into it, or you might have invested a lot of money into it, but the return, the ROI, has not been as much as the investment that you first made. So whether that's energetically, or it's like you invested in your own business, or you invested in someone else's business, or something along those lines. As I said, this is a general reading, so it could work many different ways for many different people who are watching this. But yeah, I feel like you're not getting back as much as you gave, basically. And then we have the Page of Cups. It's an interesting kind of thing, an interesting energy sort of coming through with that one. It's almost like you're hoping and wishing, or this is the energy of like when you invested in this, you hoped and wished that something would come along, like you've been sort of waiting for this serendipitous moment, for this unexpected thing. Or I know you can't wait for something unexpected, but if you know what I mean, it's sort of like there's always this like, oh, when's this miracle gonna happen? I know there's gonna be a miracle, but that's the kind of energy that I'm getting. The Page of Cups is often, like it's an offer of something, but it's not a mature offer, right? So you're not getting what it is that you really deserve for what you've been doing. You're kind of still waiting. You're like, yeah, no, it'll come. Yeah, it'll come. Or you finally kind of realize that maybe that miracle or that ROI or whatever it is just it wasn't really what you expected, or it's not forthcoming, or maybe it's time for you to just change tack and go somewhere else and have a look at something else. Because I feel like, as I said, it's sort of like you've lost the passion for what you were doing because it's sort of just turned into the daily grind. It's turned into a draining situation. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about work. I mean, it could be about a different situation in your life. But for me personally, as I'm reading this is kind of what's coming up for me. Like as a message for you guys, it's all about something that's in this physical realm that you've put energy and investment into and haven't gotten back all of the energy that you invested into it, or all of the money, or whatever it is. My hair's getting right in the way now. Ooh, interesting. And there's a bit of a that chesty thing that sometimes happens when there's something you care about, right? It's something you care about quite deeply, I say, and that's when I get that chesty cough. That's like the heart center clearing kind of thing. So it's sort of like perhaps you finally realize that this wasn't the path that was going to bring you that fulfillment, or this wasn't the right path for you anymore. Maybe it was once, but maybe there's a different way that you can go about it now. What other messages do you have for group one? All right. Yeah, there's whatever situation this is, there's a lack of communication, or a standstill of some kind. Your what you're experiencing is like, what I'm really getting is not, it's not that it's a lack of communication, it's like a breakdown in communication. You don't kind of, whoever it is that you're working with, or whatever situation you're in, they don't get what you're saying, you don't get what they're saying. It just ends up being frustrating, and then everything kind of stops and nothing goes forward anymore. Like that's why you're not getting the investment, because it's sort of like it's gone beyond miscommunication. I feel, I don't know why, that's kind of what's coming through. Yeah, like usually the 8 of Wands the right way up. It talks about, communicating. It talks about fast moving energy. It talks about, a lot of the time it could be like phone calls, emails, texts and stuff like that. It's either like, if this is just you in your own business or work or whatever, you're not getting the communication that you need from outside. Like people, the energy of calling people to you is just not there. It's whatever it is. It's like you're not getting the clients, you're not getting the customers, or you're not getting the communication through to the other people that you're working with. So you're not getting the full, how can I put it? You're not getting the full experience, and that's going to be unfulfilling in a way. Or maybe it's almost like, I'm feeling like almost like you're being left out in some way because of something that you've done, or something that, it wasn't, I don't know. Yeah, let me just puzzle on that for a bit. It's a pretty specific message. It's sort of like you did something that was like, there was an unspoken rule, or you're doing something that kind of upsets the higher ups or something like that. And it's not actually against the company policy or anything like that, but it kind of means that the people who are around you, who delegate, jobs or clients or whatever it is, are missing you out because of it. Right, they see you as a threat, perhaps. um they don't, or something, it's something like that. Yeah, so it's sort of like being left out. You're not, whatever it is, that was just a specific message for somebody. um so you'll know if it was you, but for a lot of you, I feel like it's just like the communication is not there in whatever way. It means that it's kind of come to a standstill. So um it's interesting energy here. It's like, to take that break, to take that holiday, to move away from it, to take yourself out of the situation. That's when you're going to see the full extent of what's really going on. Like I think that while you're in it, you're not going to know what's going on. It's a little bit of that kind of situation. And I'm just going to have a look at something here. Sorry, there was a song I was listening to earlier, and it just it really what's it called? The Underwhelming by Pussifer. the lyrics in that song are kind of repeating in my head as I'm talking about this, and it's sort of like they're talking about, oh, I need to find it so I can read the lyric. Sorry, hang on. This is why it was in my head earlier, and now it's playing again. So I had to pick one that doesn't have lyrics, right? There we go. Okay, so straight up, it's like parallel this path you travel, similar but far from equal. So it's like you're not getting your fair share or something like that. In whatever situation this is. It says you were broken, so you have broken free, and now you see right through the king's new clothing. So I don't know if you know that song, but a song, that story, it's like the king's new clothing. The king thinks that he's like so convinced that what what he's getting made for him is this beautiful gown, but it's actually invisible. No one can see it. So it's sort of like he believes in something that's right, that's not even there, and everybody else can see straight through him. But the thing I was getting with this was like, it's like once you break free from it, once you kind of take that step back, you'll realize that what looked so good actually probably wasn't, and that, you know, it was like the king's new clothing, it didn't really exist or something along those lines. So I feel like, yeah, in a lot of ways I'm kind of feeling like it's something a bit like someone kind of gaslighting you, or it's really it's really hard to get the right words. uh it's like something's not working enough for you to go, okay, there's something not quite right here. And by taking that step back, you'll realize that what they were saying or promising you, perhaps, um, isn't it isn't actually what it is that they're giving you, or what you were getting back from all of this investment of this energy or money, or however that works, for you. And now it's all kind of ground to a halt, as I was saying with the Eight of Wands. It's like the communication's off, or you're not getting communication. Even you could be trying to talk to people about it and resolve issues, and they're not responding, or something like that. Anyway, so now we have the Ace of Cups as well, after, you know, sitting here for 10 minutes on that one. The Ace of Cups, so this is talking about something, you know, it's passion, it's like my cup's full, wanting to help people, perhaps. It's cups is like, it's emotional. A lot of people just think it's about love, but it's not, because I mean it is, but it's not. It's not romantic love necessarily. It's something that you love doing, something that you're very passionate about, something that, you know, really fills your heart up. So this could be just a sign that it's something to do with a theme like that in your life. So perhaps it's like, you know, you were really passionate at one point, or maybe it's, hang on, I'm going to get a few more a few more cards, because I'm getting a lot of different messages, and I don't want to get too like caught up in all the different messages and confuse you. Because I've noticed, I watch a lot of YouTube readers and other people, and sometimes they when they're getting too many messages, it's sort of like you can see that they're jumping from this to that, from this to that, and it gets really confusing as a viewer. So you're kind of like, well, hang on a minute, who are you talking about? So I don't want to do that to you guys, and I want to make sure that I'm getting the right messages and getting something sort of clear and not confusing you. So round to a halt. For some of you, this break or this holiday, I'm actually getting like, some of you might have just quit, right? You might have just gone, that's enough. I can't deal with this job anymore. I'm leaving. And now that you're on this break, you're realizing that it wasn't all it was cracked up to be anyway. And it doesn't necessarily mean have to be a job again. It could be, you know, a friendship or some kind of partnership in some creative endeavor. Yeah, lots of different ways that it could come through, but I feel like you were burnt out and you needed to stop, and that's, you know, the reason this maybe even happened was to show you, like, to step back so that you can regain your passion and understand that what was going on wasn't it wasn't right for you, even though somehow they may have kind of bluffed you into believing that it was. Or, perhaps it could just be that you are overworked, underpaid. You thought it was going to be great and now it's not, and you need to take a break so that you can kind of, recalibrate and work out which direction you'd prefer to go in so that you're not feeling like that anymore. So let's have a look and see. What did the Ace of Wands, can you clarify? I mean, Ace of Cups, can you clarify the Ace of Cups, please? For group one. Group one's reading. The, the eight of Pentacles, but she's come up in reverse as well. So it's sort of like, yeah, it's like whatever it is, it stopped working. The passion isn't there anymore, or the passion's still there, but however you were doing whatever you were doing before, it's just like it's not working anymore, because the Eight of Pentacles talks about, like, study or putting the work in to do something, learning things. I feel like it's, yeah, as I said, it's sort of ground to a halt, and this is just, confirmation for you that that is the case. Let's see. An Eight of Wands and Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting. Let's have a look and see what else we've got. We've got this one. It went flying out of my hand. So we have the Six of Swords as well. The Six of Swords in upright position this way is moving away from troubled waters. In reverse, I feel like it's just reiterating again this feeling of stuckness, this feeling of not knowing where to go, or what direction to take. My guides were going to get me to say just then, it's like sometimes you have to go to someone higher up than whoever you're dealing with to get the right direction, but you're not quite sure who it is that you need to speak to. That's just for some of you, or it might be a direct message for just one of you. For others of you, I feel like it's kind of like that feeling of, I have to do this to make the money to be able to survive, but I don't know, like, I want to leave, but I don't know which way to go. Like, should I take a break? Should I go in a different direction altogether? Should I go back to studying, or learning something else, or retraining for something else, so that I'm not in this industry, or in this, in this kind of work environment ever again, because it might be something like that as well. Think about, like, if you worked, say, when you were, or if you are, in your 20s, or maybe even your early 30s, working in a bar would have been great fun. But as you got older, you don't have the stamina for, staying up all night dealing with drunk people and things like that as much as you do when you're young. So maybe it's for you, it's something like that as well. It could be like, maybe you're considering retraining so that you can work in a different industry. And it doesn't have to be hospitality either. As I say, always general reading. That was just a good way to explain it, I guess. There's plenty of other things and other ways, other different jobs that you could do. So yeah, this is kind of like, it's a wanting to move away. That energy is still there. It's like it's in the back of your mind, but there's something that's stopping you from moving. There's something that, it could be like you have a contract with them that's stopping you from moving on, or maybe you've got an agreement that you're not allowed to work with anyone else in this particular scene or whatever. That maybe that's part of a contract which is stopping you from moving on, or something along those lines, something legal perhaps that's making it difficult for you to actually step out of where you are in this stuck place where it's kind of no fun anymore. Can we get some solutions what can group one do to overcome this issue other than going on a holiday? Some of us just can't, um but as I say, it doesn't have to be a 6-week holiday in the Maldives or anything like that. You could easily just, take a day and go somewhere, sit at the beach, or go to the forest or somewhere like that. It doesn't, or just go for a drive by yourself for long enough that you can sit and hear or feel the guidance that's coming through to you, because I feel like you are actually being guided. I feel like your soul has plans for you. You may not know what they are just yet, but that's part of the reason that they want you to stop trying to control it all and just kind of relax and go somewhere where you can relax, so that you are not in that what's the word, so when you're relaxed, you're in a receptive state, so that you can hear and feel and whatever those messages, however they come through to you. Everybody's different. Some of us are claircognizant and we feel it, it's gut feeling. Some people are clairaudience, so they hear messages through songs, or they might even hear voice of spirit or something like that. Some are clairvoyant, so you get visions. Sometimes it's just like a whisper in your soul, or something coming through from your heart, where your soul, that or your higher self, is actually speaking to you and guiding you. But you won't hear it unless you're relaxed, right? That's what they're trying to say. They're saying you need to do something. Doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if you go on a holiday, or if you go for a drive, or you can spend a good couple of hours a day by yourself, listening and tapping in and tuning into yourself, so that you can get some direction and guidance that way. We want some solution cards here. What have we got that's just jumped up? All right. Okay, that's an interesting thing. So we have the Five of Swords. You can't see that. So the Five of Swords, this is anxiety. This is not really a solution, dudes. Thanks for that. Yeah, so this is just kind of tying in. It's like I can see you worrying about it, thinking about it, overthinking about it, but overthinking doesn't really do it, right? So sometimes we want to use our minds to try and control things, to come up with solutions, and that's just not the way to do it. It is actually tapping into the heart center, so that you can allow, as I just said, those messages to come through from your higher self and your soul. So if you're feeling like this, there's I've done a reel that's on my Facebook and my Instagram talking about heart brain coherence and touching your heart, and how that helps you calm down and soothe, and all of that sort of stuff. So touching your heart and breathing, or just touching your heart, can help you kind of come back down into your body, come back down into your heart center, and get out of the overthinking, the anxiety, trying to control things with your mind. So that's the easy does it card. They're like, stop trying so hard to control everything. So yeah, for some of you, that's just popped up into my mind now. Another message is like, for some of you, this is like you have an idea, but you're trying to control it too hard, and it's not coming, it's not kind of going with the flow of the universe. So you want it now, but it's not ready now. That's that sort of energy. Now we have the Lovers, and this is what I was going, what? That's a weird card to come up in a reading that's predominantly talking about work and things like that. But obviously the Lovers card, in very old decks, the Lovers card was called the Choice, right? And it doesn't have to be about a relationship. It can be about, as I said, with the Ace of Cups, it's something that you're passionate about, or something that you were passionate about. And for me, this coming up in this reading here, I feel like it's talking about you making the choice. And with a major arcana card like the Lovers coming up, that is asking you to make a choice towards your passion and away from things that are dragging you out of your integrity, or not giving you the payoff that you'd hoped, or not fulfilling you in a way that makes you want to keep doing it. Then we have the Hangman. So this is the solution, is like you need to get somewhere, somehow get clear enough to make this choice towards something that's passionate for you, away from what it is that's kind of stopped working, right? So we have the hanged man in reverse as well. The hanged man talks about creating or coming to, it's like the aha moment or some sort of enlightening experience when it's in the upright position. When it's like this, you can see that she's hanging upside down, so she can't move. And that kind of like, it's like being held in place by the universe so that you can have that aha moment, so that you can have that clarity come through. But in the reverse, I feel like this is something about making a move, right? So this is change. This is, once you make that choice, I feel like things are going to start moving for you and you won't need to try and control it. It will just happen. Especially if it's something that you've been kind of thinking about for a long time. I'm just about to lose my, that's a bit weird. Having my AirPod pop out, earpod, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so what else do we have for group one about the hanged man and the choice, the lovers? It's also, yeah, so my guides are saying, oh God, that's about way too many cards. My guides are saying to me as I'm shuffling the choice, the lovers card, it could be not just making a choice towards passion, but it could also be that you have to make a choice between two things that you love. Like perhaps this situation that we've been talking about and reading about that you need to take a break from, that is no longer working or and isn't giving you back. It's not it's not what's the word I'm trying to think. It's not reciprocal for you. But you might feel a lot of passion for it. You might get a lot of, there might be some kind of like enjoyment or something that maybe you still get, maybe you once got, that it's hard for you. Maybe you've got clients or someone that you like really you feel really connected to and you feel bad about leaving them, but it's just not working for you anymore, something like that. So I feel like, yeah, for some of you, it's about making a choice towards something different that's passionate, but for some of you, it's going to be a difficult choice to choose between, what you already have established, what you've already invested in, and moving towards something else that's equally as interesting, or, you feel equally as passionate about. Um, okay, let me just get some more messages about this. So the lovers, the choice. Yeah, actually, for a lot of you, when I'm looking at this, I'm seeing there's anxiety about making a choice. You might already know what that choice is, and maybe that's why they're asking you to take a break from what it is you're doing. They might even be directing you to take a break from thinking about it, from worrying about it too much. You can't control it, really. That's what I'm getting. It's sort of like, if you can just trust, then things will come through much more easily for you. I feel like, yeah, there's something that you're looking for. That's what the hangman card is coming up as. So there's some aha moment. There's some kind of like epiphany that you're looking for to help you make this choice. That won't come through if you are busy trying to control everything, or, that kind of thing. If you're not in that receptive state, you won't feel it or notice it when it comes. You might, but not as easily as if you are just chill and happy for it. And then, yeah, look, it says once you get that moment, that aha moment, and you will, because I trust that you're going to take that advice from your spirit guides and relax and go take a break and come back to yourself, instead of being so anxiously caught up in whatever it is that's going on here with other people, other stuff. Then things are going to start moving forward. So the chariot is moving forward in a balanced way. So you will have made that decision, and you will have sort of, by making that decision, you're coming back into alignment with your soul path, which means that things can move forward much more quickly for you. And in what direction are group one going? Let's have a look and see what have we got here. Group one, any more messages about where the chariot's going? My guides are saying that, I was like, should I ask which direction they should which choice they should make, which direction they should go. My guides are saying it's going to be different for everyone, obviously. So we can't do that, but we can sort of have a look and see where the chariot is taking you. Like when you get into this motor vehicle, when you get into this mode, it's going to move quickly. This could be talking about travel as well. It could be talking about, you know, going somewhere new, somewhere different, as a place to work, or maybe just deciding that you want to go traveling for a bit and not work, or something like that too. The chariot can be like, you know, your car or your caravan or something like that too. Although what I'm really getting here is it's just kind of that moving forward energy, but moving forward knowing that you're going in the direction that's aligned with your path, right? So let's have a look and see what else. Which direction are they going with? What's going to happen when the chariot starts to move? That's what we want to know, I think. All right, so we've got these ones popped up. Okay, so we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. So the Nine of Wands talks about like boundaries and limitations a lot of the time. This card from this particular deck, anyway. And it's what I'm kind of picking up. It's sort of like it's breaking through some boundaries or some limitations that you possibly had previously. So it's interesting. The Nine of Wands in reverse. It's like what you were afraid to do before, you won't be afraid to do anymore. There won't be that limitation. This could be a limitation that's coming up in your actual workplace or in this particular situation that's being enforced by someone else, not necessarily by you, right? So sometimes we have the Nine of Wands come up and it's like boundaries. You have boundaries or you have limitations and you need to step over them. Whereas I feel like for this reading, for this energy, this is really coming through as like whatever was stopping you in this previous situation, whatever was like a limitation for you, and it probably wasn't something that you orchestrated yourself, is going to be removed once you've made this choice. It's like, yeah, let's move forward now, and that limitation's gone. So whatever that is for you, it will be gone. And then we have the Two of Cups in reverse. So for some of you, this coming up as well, this could be talking about breaking up of a partnership, like a business partnership, or just, you know, that kind of energy of having the close relationships with people at a workplace. You know, when you leave work, when you leave a job, you kind of leave behind your work besties and all of that sort of stuff. That's kind of how that's coming up for me right now, is sort of, yeah, it's talking about how like it's like a dissolution of whatever situation you were in, or you are currently in, that you are leaving, that you are choosing something different or choosing to find some sort of resolution as well. Like I feel like for some of you there is a resolution to release these limitations and stay in the situation, but somehow that means, as I said before, you need to go to someone else and you need to find out how to get to that person, or what person can actually create or change those things for you and get the cogs moving again. Yeah, so my guides are saying this could be, like, as I'm reading it, it's a work situation or a job situation, but they're saying it could be something to do with legal stuff as well. So a legal situation that has stopped going wherever it's meant to be going, that you put a lot of effort into. It could be something like, you know, you're no longer able to, I don't know. I'm kind of getting something to do with Centrelink. So if you're Australian, you know what Centrelink is. That's like social security here. Sometimes they have like these weird limitations and stuff. Or what would you call it? It's like you need to find someone else to advocate for you, because whatever situation you're in, your word is not good enough or something like that. It's like you need, I don't know. I don't know, but sometimes like you can appeal decisions, you know what I mean? It's like if it's a legal situation or if it's something to do with like Centrelink and they're not paying you enough, or there's some kind of limitation in your social security or something like that, you might need to go further afield. You might need to find out how to find the person who can advocate for you so that you can get what you actually deserve and what you should be getting, instead of feeling like ripped off and not really kind of getting what you know what you need getting what you need. I think that's probably enough of the reading for you guys. That's, it's pretty succinct. There's something that you need to kind of take a break from to get the epiphany, to get the aha moment, so that you know what to do, which choice to make, which way to go. And as I said, for some of you, this is resolving an issue, which might be legal, it might be a job issue, it could be something along those lines. And for others of you, this is like choosing to move out of that situation, understanding that it's a pattern, or it's some kind of cycle for you to step out of so that you can grow and change in a different way. So yeah, that was a very interesting reading. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if it resonated, what parts resonated, all of that sort of stuff. And hopefully I will catch you on the next one. And thanks for watching. Bye. Hey, group 2. If you chose group 2, this is your reading. I'm just shuffling your cards now. I've just decided I'm going to do it this way rather than be prepared. I like to be random, so yeah. So I'm Alvi. If you don't know me, this is a weekly pick a card reading for you guys to try and tap into the energy, get some messages, some guidance maybe on sort of what's coming up and what's current at the moment in the energy and in your life. I'm a psychic medium, a psychic intuitive, a healer. I do hypnotherapy, all sorts of different things like that. So all of the stuff that's sort of coming to me is from my guides, your guides, higher self, all of those kinds of things, as well as from the cards. So sometimes the cards that I read, I won't read them the same way as someone who just reads straight tarot, because it'll be an intuitive message or a guided message or something channeled. So yeah, I just thought I'd explain that. Now let's get into the reading and see what your first message is. Okay, for you guys, the first message is perfect timing. So, that made the whole camera go very, don't mind the cat in the background either, go very blurry. So this is the right time for you to move forward. So that's a good message, good first message. Maybe there's something that you've kind of been asking, is it time for me to go forward? Or, you've got ideas perhaps about some kind of change that you want to make, something that's going to bring more growth or something like that into your life. They're saying that now's the perfect time. So, and I'm also getting that it's a sort of like a divine timing thing. And while, I don't believe that divine timing really works the way that most people think it does, which is just like waiting for God to, or God or your guides or whatever to kind of align you with the right thing. A lot of that is just bypassing in a way. So perfect timing is like you've done what you need to do so that you can be aligned with a certain thing. It's not about like just endlessly waiting and thinking, oh, if I do the right thing, somebody will, I'll get this or that. It's a little bit more about doing the inner work and being more aligned with your soul path and understanding the guidance that you're getting coming in, or acting on inspired ideas and things like that. But anyway, perfect timing for you guys. So something's coming through that's going to come in the perfect time, perhaps. Okay, so it's the perfect time to change your diet, apparently. Yeah, so dietary change. Improve your diet and your life will also improve. Perhaps you've been a little bit like me and been on a junk food bender for a few weeks now. Yeah, sometimes it's just like that. Sometimes, you don't really feel like eating well or whatever, or something like that. But you always get that moment that if you eat intuitive, you always get that moment that's like, oh yeah, I definitely should stop eating this. I will start eating something else instead, like that moment that um kind of sits with you and you're like, yeah, I should probably go back to eating my healthy food now. Dietary change can also mean things that you are consuming. It doesn't have to be food. It could be things like social media. It could be things on the TV, like watching the news. It could be um, depressing information, people talking about stuff that's so like, I don't know, how can I put it? If you watch the news and you watch free to air TV and you believe the narrative that comes out of that, then that's it's your choice, but it's often so sort of like off kilter to what really is going on. And it's such a way to kind of control the masses and brainwash people into believing that, everything's terrible and everybody's going to die and all that sort of stuff. So it might be something like that. So changing where you're getting your information from, changing what you're bringing into your energy field as well as what you're eating. For some of you, it could be a dietary thing. Maybe you're getting that whole, like, you're starting to think maybe there's something, that I'm eating or doing that isn't, um, it's not good for my body. Maybe like you're recognizing symptoms of a food allergy or sensitivity or something like that. And now's the perfect time for you to explore that and understand that, maybe you shouldn't eat gluten, or maybe nuts aren't good for you, or perhaps it's like dairy or something like that as well. Could also be choosing to kind of like take on a particular type of diet. Maybe you want to be raw vegan, maybe you want to be paleo, maybe you want to be what's the other one that's big at the moment, carnivore, where all you do is eat meat. I mean, I don't know why anyone would want to do that, but if you want to do it, I've heard that people get lots of really good health results from that kind of eating, people who've got other issues as well, because it's all to do with the digestive system. Let's see what other messages you have after I've finished throwing all the cards on the floor as usual. Let's see. So what they're saying is whatever it is that you're bringing in, or whatever it is that's like coming into your energy field, whether it's food, whether it's information, or the way that you're thinking about things, or stuff like that, if you change that to something that's going to work for you, your life will improve. Let's see what else is going to come up for group 2. Whoa, I nearly lost it again. Assertiveness. So stand up for your beliefs and only say yes if you really want to. I feel like this is also partly to do with this, like, I'm getting for some of you this is a dietary thing, but for a lot of you this has got to do with people trying to get you to do what they want and not really being kind of pushy about it perhaps. And maybe this is the perfect time for you to start asserting your boundaries. That can be, you don't have to be like, no, right? You can assert boundaries in a way that's not really harsh. You can just stand up for yourself, stand up for what you believe in. So maybe, what's coming through here, sorry. Only say yes if you really want to. Only say yes if you really want to. So maybe there's something coming through that has nothing to do with the dietary change, but it is about you saying yes about something. What I'm feeling is like it's someone pressuring you to do something, or pressuring you to take a particular path. But you're maybe not sure, or you already know that it's not the right thing for you. I want to get some more messages. Let's have a look. And see what else we've got here for you. Where did the rest of that deck go? I've got the box, but I don't. Oh, there they are. Right in front of me. I put them in front of me before. Okay, so let's have a look at the Soul's Journey. I feel like this is the right deck for you guys. although Lemuria is calling me as well. So I don't know. We'll see what comes through here. And then we'll maybe get one of those cards too before we go into the tarot. Um, have you got a message for group two? I know, I just pulled a very weird face and then I went, what did I do that for? That's weird. Yeah, that's just me. I'm a bit strange, so you know. Sometimes when I'm reading, there's lots of messages coming in, and a lot of them aren't actually, for putting out into the public. But if you see me pull a weird face, it's because my guides have said something off to me or something like that. A lot of the time, I'm just like, oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know that in the middle of doing a collective reading. Okay, sanding your strengths. Wow. So this is basically the same thing. Tap into the wellspring of your power. I feel like this is kind of going along with the assertiveness. So what is the situation that's going on here for you guys? This is really interesting to me. I'm finding this so it's perfect timing, right? To stand up for yourself. It's perfect timing to stand in your strength. I'll show you the card if I didn't already show it to you properly. So stand in your strength. And before that, we had the assertiveness thing. I'm kind of getting the reason that I've got my phone out is because I need to use the torch on it so that I can read the book to you properly because it's dark in here now. So yeah, what we are looking at here is I feel like there's some for some of you specifically, like there's maybe a group of people that you spend time with or something like that. They're trying to kind of force their beliefs and ideas upon you, maybe get you to kind of fit in with them better, or you know how it goes. It's sort of like, well, if you don't believe that, then you can't hang around with us, sort of thing. This is the feeling that I'm getting, or like kind of make you they're asking you to step out of your own integrity to be part of that whatever it is. I was going to say workplace, but it could be friend group, it could be even like marrying into a family who have particular who have particular beliefs and things like that. So it could be something along those lines. We'll get more when we get into the tarot, but I'm just going to read this out of the book first. Sorry, something popped up on my screen. I need to get rid of it so that I can not have it there. I hope it doesn't come through the video. Okay, so, oh no, that's not it. Stand in your, alrighty. I really should have turned the light on, but it wasn't as dark when I started. So. Yeah, let me just find it. I have it almost there. Sacrament. Shifting the blame, soulmate, standing your strength. See, I was almost at the right page, but I wasn't at the right page. Trying to crack an egg in an upright position between your thumb and index fingers. I said no, sorry, try to crack an egg in between your thumb and index finger. You'll be amazed at how much pressure it can withstand. Everyone has a unique area of strength, like the most sturdy position of the egg. Ask yourself where your greatest strengths, where is your greatest strength? What is it that best defines you? Remember, just being good at something does not make you strong. Strength is the feeling of self-assurance, and the capacity to stand your ground when you're encountering difficulties. Yeah, so I feel like this is something, as I was saying, it's sort of like, in a way, with the dietary card coming up as well, and often I read that as not necessarily what you're eating, because what everything that we consume can either nourish us and support us, or it can kind of drag you down and bring you back to some kind of, I don't know, like misaligned or misinformed kind of place, and you don't really want that, right? So this isn't there is an incredible power and strength inside of you seeking to express itself through you. This force does not come from your family name or your position in the world, nor is it about who you know. What what is inside you does not come from how much money or how much assets you have. It comes from the source of creation itself. And it is a flow that is always available to you. Your challenge is to decide where, when, and how you can best supply this power. When you naturally, you naturally know where you can be the most skillful at what you do and where you need more improvement. So when you stand in your own strengths and belief in who you are, you will automatically know what you can offer others. This is an interesting message, I must say. The more conscious you are, the more instinctive your quest through life becomes. By connecting with your own natural inclination and follow your inner guidance, you can confidently achieve your goals. So I'm focusing on my strengths to improve my life goals and relationships. So really with that coming through, I just got to change this music. I've got to some really depressing music I don't really want to listen to. It's not, yeah, that's better. Okay, so yeah, what I'm getting for this for you guys, group 2, is that like you might need to be more assertive about certain things that are going on in your life. You know where you're strong and you know where you're not. And sometimes in places where you're not as strong, where you can't stand in your power so much or stand in your strength so much, are the places that you need to have boundaries around, right? You need to assert your boundaries. I'm going to get this little book out too, because I want to see what they have about stand your ground here. Just interesting. Spiritual teacher, spring, summer, travel. Oh, sorry. That's why I can't find it, because it's right at the beginning of the book. Okay, let's have a look and see what this one says. So, one reason why the fairies are so happy is because they're assertive with each other. This trait is very different from aggression, which denies the rights of others. Assertiveness, in contrast, honors everyone's rights, including their own. Assertive people are easy to get along with. Because you always know where you stand with them. The current situation calls for you to be assertive, speak your truth with love, and let go of unhealthy old communication habits. Read books or take a class on assertiveness. Don't do anything out of guilt or obligation. Be a good role model for others by practicing this trait. Say no to this request. So if there's a specific request that you are uncomfortable with, say no to it, and be true to yourself and your values. So yeah, as I said, I felt like I shouldn't have been shining that. Whoops, sorry guys. So yeah, I feel like there's a situation sort of coming up for you. It might be now, it might be something that hasn't happened yet, but it's asking you to find your strengths. Like, you know where you're strong, you know where you feel confident in saying no to things, but there might be places where you haven't yet explored, where you are not as comfortable saying no to certain people in certain situations or certain things. They're saying now is the perfect time for you to practice that and for you to move forward in your life in whatever way that you need to kind of move forward. You really need to practice these being assertive. As it said in the book, it's like people who are assertive, you know where you stand with them. You don't need to kind of there's no beating around the bush. There's no kind of confusion, because they're straight up about how they are, what they accept and what they don't accept. So it's sort of a much easier way to it's a much easier way to get along with each other. But I feel like for you guys, this is very much it's sort of like a call for you to recognize where it is that you're not kind of holding your own boundaries properly, and start lovingly asserting those boundaries, letting people know, communicating, saying, no, this is not okay for me. Maybe there's a different way that we can do this or something like that, you know. Let me see, what else do we want on here? I think we'll just get into the tarot for this group, wherever they have gone. Where are they? I'm hiding them underneath another deck. The fairies deck. Oops. Oh dear, there goes my phone. And a bunch of other stuff. So let's see what. Okay, so give us an idea about what this is about exactly. Give us some more details for group 2. Okay, we had to turn the light on, so yeah, it's a bit better now. It's not like I'm sitting in the dark now. So let's have a look and see what is this all about, group 2. What is the perfect timing that you want to move? Like, what is it that you want to move forward to, or you're moving forward into, where you will need your assertiveness, where you will need to maybe be more conscious about where you're not being assertive and how that's affecting you, and where you are strong in that self-belief. There's no right or wrong, like everybody's in a different stage of their life and a different kind of, growth pattern or whatever. So you might be finding all of a sudden you might have been someone who's very assertive on certain topics and in certain situations, and then come across something that you haven't come across before and realize that you didn't feel comfortable or you didn't hold boundaries properly, and it kind of affected you. So now you're kind of maybe rehashing that like the way that you think about it. I keep looking at this little face. No, it's not that one. It's this one. It looks like a no. Where is it? It's a happy face, a smiley face. It's very funny. I've got a little fairy helper looking over my shoulder. Okay, so group 2. Oh, here we go. So something was out of balance, something to do with temperance, right? So this is the combination of two things to make a new thing. So this could be a lot of different things. It could be like meeting new people. It could be meeting a specific person. The way that you mix with people is what I'm getting, or something like that. I don't know, something. Let's have a look and see what else is coming through here. Temperance is, yeah, it's about finding balance, but it's not balance as in everything's equal. It's about finding balance in, it's more like equilibrium, so that things can move and flow. In the, is it the traditional Rider-Waite, or is it my old deck? I can't remember. I've got too many tarot decks. Yeah. Oh no, it's the Mythic Tarot, the deck that I've had for a billion years. The illustration on that card is it's like an angel with a rainbow around her, and she's kind of like one foot in the water and one foot on the ground. So that's like the mixture of two different elements, sort of two different things. And she's got the water and she's pouring one, like from one jug into another. So it represents like this mixing of things that don't necessarily go together in our minds, a bit like oil and water or something like that. So it could be a situation where you're kind of mixing two things together. It could be like two different social groups. It could be like you are kind of going out into a different field of, I don't know, like work or something like that, something that you haven't really had much experience with before. So it could be anything, but it's definitely something, two different things that you wouldn't expect them to go together or something along those lines. Let's have a look and see. So anyway, it was something that maybe it's throwing you out of balance. Maybe it just felt out of balance, and that's what has brought this up, this assertive, or this guidance to be more assertive in certain situations and stick up for yourself. Have a look and see what else we got. Okay, the Ten of Swords and reverse again. So we have a lot of reverse cards here. It was in the last reading as well. So the Ten of Swords is, it's leaving a situation that was painful, like walking away. I feel like she's kind of, you know, it's something where you felt maybe alone, or you felt like you kind of had to leave it on your own and leave whatever was going on um behind, because for your own, like for your own peace, for your own balance, for your own safety is what I was going to say. I don't know what that, you know, how that relates, but the 10 of swords is like the ending of a very painful situation. This particular 10 of swords, it really gives me this kind of desolated feeling, um for want of a better way to describe it. It's just sort of like, you know, there's nothing around her, there's nothing growing. That's very blurry. I don't know why autofocus is not working today. That the only thing that's there really around her is like little bits of grass and those crows. And the crows, they represent like thoughts and anxiety and things like that. So it's kind of like she's walking away from things that were making her anxious. She's finally realized by using her assertiveness and understanding her strengths that she has moved, or it's time to move away. But maybe it's something, because it's in the reverse, I feel like it's sort of like it hasn't happened yet. It's sort of like a recognition that this is what needs to happen, but maybe it's there's things that are kind of like holding you back. And when I say she, it's just because the person in the picture is obviously female. It doesn't have to be that way in this reading, and in real life it could be anyone. um so yeah, it's sort of like you may feel isolated, or as I said, there's that desolation type energy coming through here. I feel like for some of you, I feel like being assertive, particularly in whatever situation this is that we're talking about, and the guides are being very what's the word? They're not giving me a lot of information about the situation. So that's either it's something for you to work out, or it's something that you already know and I don't need to tell you. So yeah, what I'm feeling is that it's sort of like maybe you're in a situation where there's a lot of people involved, or there's another person involved, but you feel alone. Um, because because you weren't able to sort of say no, or maybe it wasn't saying no so much, but it's sort of like that boundary was crossed. You didn't realize that there should have been a boundary there, or something along those lines, and it's kind of left you feeling like, wow, maybe a bit ripped apart, maybe a bit like, I couldn't believe that someone would do that. Like, I just would never believe that that would happen, kind of thing. And now you're realizing that you need to have better communication about what your boundaries are, and what and asserting yourself in these situations, whatever situation this might be. Let's get some more messages for group 2. Come on, I don't want half the deck. Here we go. All right, so this is some kind of social situation. This could be, you know, friend group or something like that. I feel like it was something. 3 of Cups, the 3 of Cups. It can be gossip. It can be like that kind of bitchy kind of situation. I feel like there was more people involved than there needed to be, perhaps. And that's often the case with these things. It's like, you know, more people get involved than they need to, and then it's sort of harder to be assertive and hold your boundaries in a big group of people. Or maybe it was kind of like peer pressure, you know, that feeling as well. For some of you, this could be a third party. And when I say third party, I don't necessarily mean that someone you're with or you're in a relationship is cheating. It could be, you know, like just somebody who's related to them, someone who's their best friend or something like that, kind of being sticking their nose in where it's not really needed or wanted, but or being overbearing in your relationship. And it's kind of like, yeah, all right, that really brought in some messages. So there's a situation where it probably feels like to you, and it feels like to me, there's like a relationship or some kind of, you know, it might even be a friendship but there's someone else who's sort of interfering in that, and you don't feel comfortable or haven't felt comfortable in setting your boundaries. And the thing that I'm getting the most is sort of like the mother-in-law situation where, you know, um, or something along those lines, where to assert a boundary with them could potentially, create a lot of trouble between you and your partner or something like that. So it's sort of like maybe something that's come up a lot, and you haven't yet, put your foot down or said, no, this is not okay, whatever this might be about. But they're saying now's the perfect time. So there might be something coming up this week where you are like, you have to, in a way, be more assertive and tell them, no, this is not right. I don't want you to, I don't know, come over to my house that particular day because I'm busy, or whatever, whatever it is that happens, or however this plays out, kind of thing. So yeah, this is like someone who's not really part of your situation coming in and trying to kind of, I wouldn't say cause trouble necessarily, but I would say maybe, trying to kind of be more assertive than you, or get you to do what they want rather than what works for you. So yeah, that's interesting. We also have the judgment card. So yeah, I got the word reckoning as I put that down. So it's sort of like, what I feel like is, it's like it might be a situation that you've been putting up with for quite some time, right? And you haven't been comfortable, or it's just kind of like it's starting to get to the point now where you are noticing how much this situation is like really affecting you and affecting the people around you, and how it's not good, and that you need to, say something. um and as I said, the guys are saying this is the perfect time for that. It's time to start standing up for yourself. And because when I was like, the day of reckoning, I don't know why when I saw that, but I kind of feel like when you start to put your foot down, or when you start to assert those boundaries lovingly and tell people, no, that's not right for me, or no, I'm not doing that, or whatever, however this works for you in your life, um when you start to do that, it's sort of like the universe can take over a little bit and say, okay, so now they've learnt how to be assertive, how now they've learnt where their boundaries need to be, we can stop sending them people to teach them these boundaries. Right? Because I feel like this is sort of one of those things. It's like, until you realize that you're allowed to say no, until you realize that you can put your foot down and you can stop what's going on, not in a way that causes trouble, but just in a way that stops you from having to deal with the trouble, then the universe goes, okay, we don't need to teach them that lesson anymore. They already know. We can stop sending these people who are, trying to get them to step out of their integrity in whatever way they might be, or, someone who's pushing you to, or just making you uncomfortable even. So yeah, I feel like, yeah, this is, if you follow along with this guidance and this is resonating with you, when you do this, it's going to change things in a big way, and in a positive way, right? Because it's going to stop these situations from continuing, and therefore you find more balance, more peace in your life. Then we have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so this could be a lesson, right? They're talking about a lesson here. They want you to know that you saying no, you standing up for yourself, setting your boundaries, remembering your strengths and all of that stuff that we've been talking about this whole time. It is a lesson. It's something you're learning, right? And we're not all perfect, as I said before. Like, everybody is learning something different all the time. Learning how to vocalize your boundaries without sounding harsh, or something like that as well. But I just feel like that card coming up is saying, like, you put some work in here and you've learned this lesson. This is your learning, right? Let's have some more messages now. I'm just kind of looking in, seeing if there's anything else coming through. Sometimes there is, sometimes there's not. So can we get more messages for group two? What happens after this situation when they assert their boundaries? How do things go then? All right, so we have the Knight of Cups, and then we have the Knight of Wands. Okay. So I feel like, yeah, for some of you, this could be the sort of the restoration of your relationship with your partner. Because it was out of balance before. There was probably a bit of trouble, if you're harboring issues with other people being involved in your connection or relationship, then it's never going to be good. But if you it might be a situation where you've got to say, hey, look, I'm not comfortable with that person being around us or whatever they're doing, to the partner as well, because this has sort of come up to me as like, look, here's your partner. You might not be of the same soup, right? But they've both got horses in their background. The Knight of Cups is someone who is like, he's a romantic, he's a dreamer. And when I say he, it could be anyone. It's just a he on the picture. So it's easier for me to describe it that way. But it can come through as like an offer. So maybe it's an offer of sort of like restoring this relationship. I do feel like this is about a romantic relationship for most of you. It could be about, your marriage. It could be about, it might be about friendship as well. It could be one of those situations too, where there's someone who's just always kind of, I don't know, bit troublesome, and you don't really like the way that they make your friends act or something like that. But for most of you, I feel like this is a relationship, a romantic relationship, where someone or something is like interfering as someone, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that they're cheating or anything like that. Like I said, best example that I can come up with right now is like the mother-in-law thing, where there's an interfering, overbearing person who's coming around to your house and insisting that you're not doing things the right way because you're not doing them their way. Things like that. Like, that's just an example. Obviously, it's not going to be that way for everybody, but you'll know what it is, and you'll also know when it's time for you to put your foot down and assert those boundaries. So I'm just waiting for the next stream of consciousness channel to come through and catching my breath. So yeah, we have the Knight of Cups. I feel like this is going to restore the balance in this connection, in this relationship, so that you are back into this kind of energy of the Knight of Wands, which is, living in your own passion and your own kind of fun time, freedom, happiness, whatever. She looks like she's having a great time on her own, right? This is that kind of like restoring your inner fire, I would say. I feel like that's kind of what's coming through here. So yeah, by asserting your boundaries, obviously, when you start telling people no, right, what happens is the energy that's getting sucked into worrying about, oh, is this person going to come over? Is this trouble going to start? The fights that you're having with your significant other because of that, or disagreements, or the energy that you're kind of like harboring because of it as well, can actually finally be released. That kind of the negative connection where all your energy is going will be released and resolved, and you'll be able to come back into yourself more and just sort of be your more happy, carefree, free, fun person with that, that inner fire burning. Let me see. I just want to clarify the Knight of Cups. Whew. Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups. Oh, all right. Okay, so I'm not sure which way that. Yeah, all right, that's the right way up. Three of Pentacles. So this is sort of like, I'm just trying to clarify the energy of the Knight of Cups. I do feel like it's, for most of you, this is romantic partner or husband or partner or, boyfriend or whatever, however that works for you, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife. partner is probably the best word to use because it's gender neutral. And one day I'll get right, but yeah. So whoever this is your partner. This is the sort of, that if I feel like things aren't um well, they're out of balance with this person, right? But I feel like this action, this taking your power back in a way, is kind of allowing you to come back to this in a fire. I also feel like it's sort of like he likes, or they, I'm saying he because it's the Knight of Cups and there's a man on it, on the card, but they like to work with other people, like they're a social person is what I'm getting here, whereas you might not be so much of a social person. And that is maybe that's something that's sort of part of this, is like coming to an understanding about each other, that so when you're not a social person, being around too many people for too long is exhausting, and you need to have that time to relax. Maybe it's sort of like, they're inviting lots of people over all the time and you just don't feel like you've got your own space, and you can't recover from the socializing sort of thing. And I'm laughing because that's me. It's like I can handle people for a certain amount of time, but after that, I need at least a couple of days by myself before I can deal with any more people. And I'm not sure which way these were meant to go to. So the Four of Pentacles, this is finding stability. This might also come around in a way that's sort of like, I don't know. I feel like for some of you, this could have been affecting your money as well. The Four of Pentacles is talking about like stable foundations, I guess. And it could be financial, but it could also just be, like reworking the foundations of the relationship so that you guys both understand each other. When you can say, look, no, I don't want these people to come over because I need to have my time to myself so I can be happy and social with whoever when it's time for that, but we can't have them over all the time, or something along those lines, like yeah. So there's a big thing about communication sort of coming through here. Communication and sort of self-awareness and consciousness in the relationship is going to play a big part. And then we have the Ten of Wands. So yeah, that's meant to be that way too. Just because I dropped them all on the floor, I have no idea which way they're meant to be. So the Ten of Wands is talking about, yeah, it's sort of like leaving behind whatever this energy was. So yeah, it's like, I'm just kind of reading into it. Sorry, I've stopped talking. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the picture. It's a little bit like carrying, the Ten of Wands talks about like carrying a burden, sort of ending. Sorry, it's coming. I promise. I am just translating. So it's sort of like what I'm getting here is, this is a terrible song. No wonder I can't think. That's better. So yeah, it's talking about, it's sort of like, what I'm getting here is we all come with baggage. Everybody does. I don't care who you are. If you're in a relationship with someone, they're going to see your bags and you're going to see theirs. So you can choose whether you trip over those bags or you can choose whether you help them to unpack them, and vice versa. I feel like this is more of an unpacking, but it just takes you to stand up for yourself, like be assertive, not be how they said, what did they say, aggressive, not be aggressive, just assertive, and be saying, no, that's not right for me. I can't do this right now. Sorry, I don't want people over tonight, but maybe we can do it tomorrow night, or something like that, like finding a balance, finding an unpacking so that you can both be in that harmony. You can bring that, as I was talking about, the temperance, two things that don't go together is, and these guys they're not like the same, they're not from the same suit, they're not like the Knight of Wands and it's not like you've got the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands or whatever. These are like two different individual type people, but obviously in some sort of partnership or friendship, and that is the mixing of the temperance, like where I was talking about in the temperance, where you're mixing two different things together. Anyway, I reckon I'm going to leave that now. I feel like for you guys, this is bringing things back around to balance. It's just remembering that it's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to say no to things. It's often in the way that you deliver those no's and those boundaries that make them work or not work, or create more trouble or no trouble. So, it might be that you need to communicate in a different way, because if a person's not on the same wavelength as you, or doesn't come from the same sort of school of thought as you, it's hard to understand. So yeah, anyway, hopefully you got something out of that and it was helpful, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye. Hey everyone, it's Alvi here. This is group 3's reading. Wow, it's dark in my room right now. I don't have a ring light anymore. I don't know where it's gone, but it's not working anyway, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, you have to put up with the darkness, sorry. But yeah, here, group 3, if you chose group 3, then this is your reading. And I'm just going to get your messages out and see what comes through for you. Can we get a message for group 3, please? I'll give them a little tap. Message for group 3 for this next 7 days. This reading is timeless, in case I haven't mentioned that, and I don't think I have, not for this one anyway. So it's a general reading, which means that not everything will resonate with you, but if you find or feel that I'm speaking directly to you, then it's definitely a message for you. Also, if you find that a lot of it resonates and you would like to go deeper, you're welcome to a very loud horn. You're welcome to book a reading with me. I will leave the link in the description box so that you can find your way to my website and book a reading. What else was I going to say? I can't remember. General reading. Oh yeah, and it's timeless. So if you happen to come across it after it's been posted and it still calls to you, then there's messages here for you anyway. So let's have a look and see what energy do we have coming through for group 3. Okay, walk away. Interesting. So leave the unhealthy situation and enjoy new doors that open as a result. So I feel like for you guys, there's something going on in your life. You're kind of maybe umming and ahhing about whether you should leave or walk away from something. Sometimes it can be this card can actually just mean, instead of going into a fight with someone when you're in that heated moment, you can walk away from it and have that moment to kind of calm down, and maybe then go back and have a conversation that isn't as fueled by emotion and things like that. We're going to get a few more messages for you. Sometimes it can literally mean just go out for a walk. Maybe if you're feeling frustrated or anxious or something like that, going for a walk is a good way to kind of dispel, get rid of those energies that might be hanging around you because of that. All right. So the next message we have for you guys is spiritual teacher. Your life purpose involves teaching others about healing and spirituality. So perhaps there is something that you've been doing, I don't know, as work, or I don't know, something that you've been doing that isn't really aligned with your path as a spiritual teacher is what I'm getting. So wow, they're sort of really self-explanatory. I can't talk properly because this is reading number 3. I started off good in reading number 1. So let's have a look at the soul's journey and see if we can get a little bit more in-depth information. So some of you might be finding that there's things that are, this is really what I'm kind of feeling, is there's certain situations in your life that are not conducive to your path as a spiritual teacher. It might be something like, I don't know, I mean, it's different for everyone, right? Like some people want to be, gooder than good, and they don't want to drink and smoke and go out to pubs and things like that, and they find that that is spiritual and that's how they go down their path, whereas other people are quite happy to do that and still, be able to be spiritual, receive messages and things like that as well. So I can't really put, put a finger, because it's a general reading on what exactly it is you need to walk away from, although the tarot might tell us a bit, further down the line. But I'm definitely getting for you that there's a situation, what it is. It could be a relationship, it could be a friendship, it could be things that you're doing. I don't know, could be anything really, that you need to maybe consider leaving because it's not helping you on your path, as a spiritual teacher. So let's see. Why? I don't know why they do that. Start off with a really good playlist and then they must run out of music or something. So I end up with all sorts of weird stuff that I don't listen to and I don't want to. So yeah. So look, let's have a look and see what group 3, what have we got for group 3? What messages have you got for group 3 about their path as a spiritual teacher? What might be something they need to walk away from that's an unhealthy situation for them? What messages do you have for group 3? Anything, anyone? If you'd like for something to come out, that would be great. There isn't that one. Maybe there we go. Okay, we got 2 cards for you. Nothing is perfect. Interesting. Release perfection and strive for excellence. All right, so that might be a very big clue as to what to walk away from, and that is something that's sort of, you have to be perfect at it. It might be a way of thinking. It might be a way of, being very, it has to be this way, perfectionism type thing. That is kind of stopping you from really being aligned with the path of a spiritual teacher. When you are very expanded in your consciousness, you kind of realize that there's not just one way, and it doesn't have to be perfect, because what's perfect to you isn't perfect to everyone else. And I feel like if you're constantly trying to perfect something, it's going to stop you from really seeing the beauty and the magic in the imperfections of life, which is really what spirituality is about anyway. It's sort of like, it's not about being perfect, it's about being real and authentic, and understanding that everybody's on their own little journey, right? So that could be something that's coming up for you. And redirect the fire, transform anger into creative power. Okay. Yeah. All right. So there's something that's pissing you off, right? That's what I'm getting. It's interesting. Yeah. So I feel like you're pissed off about something, or you're getting it frustrated, or it's frustrating to you that this, whatever this is, it's not perfect. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, right? I'm sorry, but it's just the truth. Like, I'm trying to think of the right words of how to put this, but it's sort of like, what's coming to me is I saw this thing the other day, and it said perfectionism isn't about being perfect. A lot of the time people express their perfectionism issues by being super critical of everything that they're around, and that's really giving me this frustration thing. It's like everything has to be exactly right for this to work for me, but the truth is you really need to sort of expand into, things don't have to be perfect, but they can still be really good. And that way I don't need to be frustrated. I don't need to get pissed off. I can just go with the flow kind of thing. I'm going to get this book out wherever it is. Where did I put it? Put somewhere. I had it a minute ago, or a little while ago. Go. Have I knocked it onto the floor? perhaps not. I guess I'm just not meant to read out of it. I was going to read the Soul's Journey cards, but one of them at least. The book seems to have gone on a walkabout. So yeah, really, I feel like it. Yeah, with these messages coming through, is it a specific situation, Spirit? I'm just trying to feel into if there's something specific for you guys, or if this is a general thing, like something that's generally in your life that, or something or someone around who's just, like just pisses you off. Yeah, let me just see. I'm laughing because I'm not perfect. I'm a bit of a firecracker, and people do piss me off, and sometimes I lose my shit because they do. Um, but yeah, it's almost like it's a message to remind me too that nothing it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to do the best that you can at the moment, in the moment. Um, and redirect that energy, because that energy of being pissed off or being angry about things, it's really powerful if you can redirect that into, I don't know, manifesting something really good for yourself, or use it to kind of fuel your, I don't know, exercising or something like that. Like, that's so much more productive than just being angry about something that, or frustrated. um so yeah, let's have a look and see what the tarot has to say for you guys. Group three. Sorry, I'm just very puzzled about where the book went. It's very strange. It's probably on the floor underneath my feet or something. Messages for group three, please. Group three. Oh, I found it. Here we go. I think I'm going to read the Nothing is Perfect thing. Okay, nothing is perfect. We often use the word perfection as a positive attribute to describe high achievement and paying meticulous attention to details. But when you really think about it, seeking perfection could make moving forward difficult. The idea of being flawless tends to breed fear and insecurity. No one denies the value of commitment to excellence, but the value appears when we are in harmony with the rhythms of nature and of our hearts. So yeah, it's kind of like, as I was saying, it's nothing is ever going to be perfect, and trying to kind of make things perfect is it. I think it's, you know it kind of creates a bit of an issue, because then nothing's ever right, nothing's ever good. If all you want is perfection, and there's so much joy and so much magic in things that aren't perfect. Like, nature's not perfect. There's things in nature that aren't, you don't always see perfect symmetry and things like that in flowers and stuff, and yet they're still beautiful. So what's the big deal? Like, what is this weird thing that we have stuck in our heads about things being perfect? Imagine you are dancing as you progress in the journey. Every moment is perfect as it is. By enjoying every moment as it comes, you will be inspired to go beyond seeking a goal of perfection. Each occasion will anoint you with the quality of natural excellence. You will be open to taking a chance and following your longings. However, if you go after achieving perfection, you will allow the fear of failure and making a mistake, or not being accepted by others, to creep into your heart. Have faith that inspiration will move you blissfully forward. Build on your strengths by allowing what you love to lead you forward. Yeah, as I was reading that, I was kind of getting this message also about, now it's gone. That's great. No, it'll come to me. It was sort of like, what was I saying? Come on, spirit. What were you saying to me? Um, wow, it really went out of my brain. Okay, so let's have a look at the tarot anyway. We'll see what comes out. Oh yeah, that's right. Now that's right. It's sort of like what I was getting was for you specifically, like if you guys are it's about being, I feel like a lot of you feel like, you're worried about failing or saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing. As far as being a spiritual teacher, right? So it's sort of like, what if I give someone the wrong information? What if I do a reading and I give them the wrong information? You don't trust yourself. You need to trust yourself. You need to trust that what's going to come through in the moment is the right thing. And even if it's not the right thing down the track at that particular time, that's what came to you. It seems to be a lot about kind of, yeah, what will people think of me, instead of thinking this is a journey, this is me expanding my consciousness and my understanding of things um in a way that's like joyful and playful, and um remembering that, there's no, not only is there no fear, no fear, no, sorry, no failure, only feedback, but there's also like um now it's gone again. Why is this happening to me? Yeah, so there's no feeling, no failure, only feedback, right? So if you're getting something, or if you fear getting something wrong, the more you fear it, the more it's going to happen. And this could be anything. It doesn't have to be about being a spiritual teacher, but I feel like if that card's come up, then it's a message for you. Um, I feel like you're worried about giving the wrong information or something like that. But honestly, when you look around, there's so many different people who call themselves spiritual teachers who are giving information that may or may not be right for you, because there's so many different people. Like, there's no way that we can always be right. I always say to anyone who's getting a reading with me, then our readings are not set in stone. Like, we are, what is it? I give guidance, not gospel. It's not set in stone, right? It's based on what energy is here now and what comes up from that energy. Yeah. So it's sort of, it's not like, because we have free will, so I could tell you one thing and you could do something completely different to what I was shown, and then the outcome can be completely different. So it's sort of, yeah, it's not like everything's set in stone. Everything is motion, everything is fluid, and there's no point being frustrated by it or being worried about it or letting the fear of failure stop you from spreading a message that is like, bringing more love and more light into the world, even if it's not right for everybody. So yeah, interesting. Interesting. So whatever this is, there's something that's making you frustrated. There's something that's kind of making you angry as well. What I'm looking at now is like, redirect the fire and walk away, leave the unhealthy situation behind. So this could be something that you're thinking about. It could be that you are around people who are like, oh no, you have to do this to be spiritual. You have to be that, do that to be spiritual. And I wrote a piece a long time ago on Facebook, and I've reposted it many times. And it's like, what did I say? Something about like, you have to do this or whatever. It's like, fuck that. To be spiritual is to be alive, right? We're just human beings, and we're all spiritual because we're all connected to source. If we choose to be, if we choose to acknowledge that we are, then that's what we are. So there's no particular way, there's no right way, there's no wrong way to be spiritual. Um, yeah, interesting. So if there's people around you who are making you feel like that, walk away. It's unhealthy. It's unhealthy to stop people from exploring their own, inner workings. Um, let's see what other messages we have coming up in group 3, because otherwise I'll just keep going on about this all night, as I do. You got messages for group 3? Oh, they're really not very forthcoming, the messages today. It's not the only group that's taken forever for cards to pop up. Oh, there we go. All right, we have the Queen of Wands. Okay, this is their suggestion to you, is to get into this energy that the Queen of Wands has, if you can see that. The Queen of Wands she's all fire, she's all passion, she's all her inner fire, right? She's so enthralled by the magic that's within her. She doesn't give a shit what anyone else says, right? She's just so busy doing her own thing. She's not worried about what everyone else is doing. And that is the best way to be. Just sit in your own little bubble, know your own truth, listen to your own guidance, and not really worry about what other people are saying. There's always going to be people who aren't, who are going to be naysayers, or who are going to tell you you're wrong or whatever. But if you're listening to your own guidance and following what that says, and you know that it's not coming from your ego, it's coming from your higher self, then you don't need to argue with other people about it. You just need to know that it's for you. And if they're saying, go tell the world or whatever, then that's what you're meant to do. Okay, what have we got here? Yeah, so it's sort of stopping you from ascending. It's stopping you from connecting to the higher sources. This worry about being perfect is what's coming through. It's sort of like, I have to get this right. If I don't get this right, I won't connect. But the truth of it is, by just being your authentic self, by just being, right, and being like the Queen of Wands. And I absolutely love this picture. I think she's so cool. Like, it's just you can see she's just so enthralled with her own magic, with her own light, with her own discovery that she has the same light as source, and therefore, whatever's coming through her is from source. She's so enthralled with that, she doesn't really care or need anything or anyone else to tell her what to do. So letting go of that kind of perfection, because it's going to stop you. The Hierophant in this particular deck, especially the picture here, is, it just speaks to me about walking that, that ascension path, walking up the ascension path to expand your consciousness into, expanded consciousness, I guess. Expand the light of into the light of your soul more. But this perfectionism is going to cause you issues, and if it's coming from other people, especially, maybe you've taken some course or something and they're telling you you're doing it wrong, or it's making you feel like you're doing it wrong. Maybe that's just not the right course for you. Maybe that's just not the right way for you. Everybody's got their own way. And then we have the Five of Swords. So yeah, it's causing you some anxiety. Definitely, you're worried about something. I feel for some of you, this could be, connecting with the wrong people. It could be relationship, it could be friendship, it could be, as I said, like professional stuff, where you're going to do a course or something and they're like, no, that's not right, you're not doing it right, when really, if it's working for you, then you're doing it right. Yeah, something like that. Things that are taking you off your path, basically. They're asking you to get away from it, to drop it, because that's going to cause you anxiety, and the more anxious you are, the harder it is to really receive the messages that you need to hear, and the support that you need to feel. So we have the Page of Cups in reverse. So it's sort of like there's no spontaneity in whatever it is that you're doing as well. It's sort of like taking the magic out, whatever's going on. It might be the anxiety, it might be trying to be perfect, it might be, whatever it is that's around you that's making you frustrated and angry and sort of taking your energy away. Don't mind me, I'm just trying to change the music again because I've done something weird with my playlist again. Just these random bands that I've never heard of and I don't really care to listen to. So yeah, anyway, the Page of Cups is like, it's this serendipitous, spontaneous, magical kind of energy. It can be about, bringing love in or love offers and stuff like that, but it's also about, what you're passionate about and all that sort of stuff. But I feel like it's sort of like you've lost the magic of it. The whole spiritual thing is like, why have you lost? It's about finding the magic, right? It's like, wow, 1111, getting excited about seeing double numbers and angel numbers and synchronicities and stuff like that. And if it's taking you away from that kind of magic, which is the kind of energy that brings all of the good stuff into you, then what's it really good for? What's it really, is it really helping you? Is this going to help you be a spiritual teacher? I don't know. I don't think so, though. Even if it's just a teacher to yourself, not everybody who's watching this is going to want to be a spiritual teacher, but I hope that you can kind of relate it to whatever situation this is kind of resonating with in your life. I just dropped like 90% of the deck, I think. So let's have a look and see what other messages you have for group 3. Okay, so I'm seeing another message here. It's like, in the past, this was you were very focused on yourself. You knew where the wisdom was and you knew how to connect to it. You were focused on your own light. You weren't bothering about things, but something came along that caused you a lot of anxiety and stress and made you feel very disconnected from your higher self and from this expansion that you are on, this ascension journey, that's what I'm trying to say. It's kind of taken the magic out of life for you. So you're not manifesting because you're focusing, like there's more anxiety, more anger, and more trying to perfect things and worrying about what other people think than just trusting in this kind of energy, right? So yeah, let's have a look and see what else we've got here. How can group 3 bring the magic back? What is it? What steps do they need to take to bring this magic back into their lives, this connection, or to be able to feel the connection and the frequency of source again? Let's check. Again, as I've said, for some of you, this could be a personal thing that's just between you and you guys, and for others, it could be really talking about like a path that you've taken, or different people, relationships and stuff like that as well. So you will know which one that is, I think. Let's have a look and see what else you've got. How does group 3 get past this? What's happening? Yeah. Okay. We have justice in reverse. And then we have the emperor in reverse. I see. All right. This is definitely specific to some of you. This is something to do with a male, and I don't, like it doesn't have to be a male person, but this is a masculine energy that is in their wounded masculine, not in their divine masculine energy. And being in that energy, it kind of knocks everything else around them out as well, because they are kind of flighty, there's no plan, it's inconsistent, that kind of thing. And it felt, maybe it's sort of like, now this could be something going on with you, or this could be someone you're connected to. It means that when someone's like that around you, or even if it's that part of you that's that's like working through some kind of trauma or whatever, it's focused on the wrong thing, right? So it's either they are focused on the wrong thing, or your masculine energy is not being worked the right way. A masculine energy talks about taking action. Okay, so maybe this is your disconnection from source has stopped you from taking action because you don't really know what to do, and you're worried about what other people think, and that's frustrating, right? It means that you're not getting what you deserve, because justice is, in reverse here. Justice is getting what you deserve, but this is like, you're wondering why you're not getting what you deserve, when you are not really sitting in the energy of calling in the things that are aligned with you and seeing the magic and being the magic that you truly are. So how can what steps does group 3 need to take? I'm about ready to give up on this music, I can tell you. Uh, okay, so what can they do? What can they do? All right, the 3 of Wands. I'm getting a lot about maybe I feel like you've made plans or something and they're not the right plans. It's like what they're telling me here by giving me the Emperor in reverse, who's all about when he's in the right way up, is um about strategy and taking action and building things and stuff like that, right? And the 3 of Wands is about dreams, like things that you've planned, sort of coming, your ship's coming in, all right? So your ships aren't going to come in because these plans or actions, they're not aligned with what you're meant to be doing. They are, or you've become misaligned with your soul path, and therefore you're not getting what you deserve, or perhaps it's like you're putting too much focus on something that's just not working for you, as I've probably said all the way through this. So whatever it is that's making you feel frustrated, that's making you angry, that makes you want to walk away, then that's the thing. Whatever it is that you need to walk away from, somehow work out what it is you need to leave, because once you do that, I feel like what's going to happen is you're going to start to come back into alignment and be more, be more able to see the magic again and trust in the universe and trust in your path. You'll be back in this energy, but you need to walk away from whatever it is. Leave the unhealthy situation behind. So yeah, whatever it is it's frustrating you, this perfectionism thing as well. I'm kind of getting, as I'm going through this, it's someone else that you are connected to. It might not be like that for everyone, but that's kind of what my guides are giving me. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting, is like a partner or someone you spend a lot of time around. They're kind of, they are that energy of you need to be perfect. But it's also frustrating. It's like making you angry, or they're angry because you're not perfect and making you feel bad. I'm getting kind of a bit of a toxic relationship thing coming through, honestly, and it's pushing you out of alignment with your own stuff, right? So you need to walk away from this, whatever this is. If it's a person, for sure, like, it sounds like it's not a very healthy relationship anyway. So maybe, you could seek some counseling or something like that, or, seek help in some way. For others of you, you probably already know that it's time to go, but maybe you haven't yet, and this is your message to do that. Or you could just walk it off. It could be you too. It could be just coming through you. You're frustrated. You're not getting what you want. You feel like you're putting in a lot of work, not getting what you deserve, because you're focusing on things that are making you unaligned, or focusing on being perfect about things when you don't really need to. You just need to kind of love yourself as you are. And yeah, that stuff. Anyway, I'm going to call this reading finished. Hopefully that was helpful to you, and you got some guidance from it, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.